What's up, everybody? This is John T from Parks. I'm here today to talk about a new sport, possibly a new industry, and a whole new way to board through in the summer. Not really, I guess all summer long. And I have Marty and Jerry along with me to talk about their new board sport and their invention and what they can bring to the industry. So I welcome you, Marty and Jerry. How are you guys doing?
Good, John. Thank you.
Good, John. Thanks for hosting us.
Absolutely. So we're talking about surf slides today. Can you guys tell us how you got surf slides started, what they are, and how you even thought about bringing it to an industry or making it into a board sport?
Absolutely. A lifetime of surfing and skateboarding and snowboarding. Always looking for a way to do any kind of boarding on a relative daily basis. You know, with the ski areas closing in the spring, they're done for the season. Surfing, you're waiting forever for surf. Skateboarding, you're not allowed to do it on the streets. But anyways, just as a kid growing up on board sports, you're just always looking for the next big thrill. And surf slides come up about, a lifetime of snowboarding here. Once the ski areas shut down in April, there's no boarding, no mountain boarding to do. So as I got to become good friends with ski area owners, Loon Mountain in New Hampshire in particular, I'd always ride to the last day of the season, and the only people left on the mountain were the snowboarders, and they were walking up and down from the terrain park. And working with that resort owner, going, hey, I have an idea that you can use this year-round. What if we cover this terrain park in artificial turf, saturate it in water, and surf down the hill? And after a couple years of talking with him, working with him, he wanted to do it. But he ended up getting bought out by Bear Creek, and that lost that opportunity. Thereby, I started looking at ways to doing on a smaller scale, whether it's a transportable model or a standalone facility, or at other ski areas or what have you. And as I looked into it, I put some intellectual property into it, got patents, trademarks, copyrights, and so on, to try to develop a sport. And what it follows just like any other sport. It would have all of its boards, its clothing, all of its paraphernalia that are going to go alongside it. But certainly the aficionados, people who want to do this every day, do it regularly. If you're a snowboarder, you're bummed in the middle of the summer. If you're a surfer, you got to wait once a month if you get surf on the East Coast anyways. So you're always looking for a way to do this. And growing up on a snowboard, when there were snurfers and seeing the industry grow, I saw terrain parks at ski areas as the perfect application to do some kind of hydroplane mountain surfing, which I ended up calling surf slides.
Yeah, can you now explain just a real brief explanation of what a surf slide is, what it looks like?
Okay. Yeah. Well, it can vary from 20-foot wide to 50-foot wide track, but think of a half pipe. A continuous half pipe or a quarter pipe winding its way down a hill. Lined with artificial turf, saturated in water. You create a hydroplane and you actually surf down the hill. And the beauty of it is it feels most like surfing and wakeboarding. Gives nice heel-toe control. You can stop on a dime or you can unweight in free flow and pick up speed as you're going downhill. Definitely feels more like surfing than any other sport I've been on.
Nice. So as this water is getting pumped to the top, you basically have not a gully, but a slide that you've designed, that you've cut out of the hill, that people can take boards, tubes, sleds. I believe you've done it just on like a water slide, almost just propelled yourself down the surf slide. But the biggest key is that you can board down it.
And absolutely.
I mean, I could imagine, like, I'm sorry?
Heel-toe control, the transition, it's just like snowboarding, just like surfing. Absolute unweight from one edge to the other edge. 360s, people doing jumps and flips off our ramp. It's absolutely a new board sport. Anyone who's ever stood up on a kind of board, they may take one ride to get a feel for it. After that, they're all set.
Yep. Man, that's awesome. And it's completely safe. I mean, because of the water, you're not worried about rug burns, and you're not... It's basically, if you fall, it's like a water slide. You're gonna slide down it, and it's good to go. Correct?
Yes, that is right, and that's part of our charge, is to make sure that everything is wet. If it's wet, you're cutting the friction, so you eliminate that rug burn feel. When it's saturated in flowing water, you fall on it, you skid, you fly. It's just like a water slide in that regards. It's why we had people fall in the video. This is actually Jerry falls in video and gets back up and continues his ride, just like you could do on a snowboard. We did it. We did that intentionally. I'm running down and I do it on my belly. No rug burns whatsoever. As long as you get wet turf, you got that friction break. And it's just surfing. It's a great cross surfing, snowboarding, skateboarding, and there's really nothing like it. When we were doing it, we had hurricane swells, and we had a lot of people from around the country traveling to Rhode Island to go surf in the hurricanes. We were taking them to the resort, and they liked that more than the surfing because it was new. It was novel. So they, what's this new thrill? I've heard about it, and we've had a lot of people there, and it absolutely rocks.
Nice. So you've mentioned the surf industry, the snowboard industry, the wakeboard industry. How do you see it fitting in as maybe its own industry or fitting just in with those other industries? I mean, you're turning resorts from half like snowboard and ski season into a year-round resort where they can use the resort and the infrastructure all year round now.
Right, it's perfect because as we're saying, all the infrastructure's there. They have their ski shop. Well, in the middle of summer, you're not selling many skis. Clear them out and put in wakeboards. Put in, snow tube, boogie boards, and so on. Also, the clothing. You want to have some kind of like a soccer shirt, that nylon shirt that's really slick but cool, because that will also break the friction. So it's kind of safety wear. I'm going to assume anyone who's standing on these will require a helmet. We don't. You'll see in the video, we're in baggies and nothing else. But, John Q off the street, put a helmet on him. If you're going to stand, put a helmet on. But real easy. When we first started, I thought, I thought there may be some impacts. We were wearing hockey helmets, hockey pants, and everything. After one run, we ditched them. We were in baggies and we were riding up and down the hill. But as to where I see the industry, just like snowboarding would take off, there's now over $1 billion a year industry. I see this potentially larger because you don't need to be at the mountains. You can build a hill anywhere. You can do these indoors or out. So like a Tokyo Ski Dome, for instance, that could cost you a couple $1 billion to build it. You're not going to cost a couple $1 billion to build the slides. We're not trying to refrigerate down out in the tropics. It's just room temperature waters. You can do it year round, so it would fit indoors in an arena type thing. I have a lot of colleges interested in doing kind of a circuit, taking and building for a month at one college just down in Florida, and kind of doing a college circuit, have what we call the traveling road show with the slide. The X Games are interested in taking this for their extreme games, as well as others. But there's the industry, clothing, boards, bindings, repair of boards, progression of technology to the boards and turf. I work with the turf farmers, with the turf manufacturers all the time, and we have specified turfs for us that we've made. So it's something that you couldn't get elsewhere other than, if you, surf slide installation will have a specific turf. Even though there's variety of sizes, up on the sidewalls you want a big thick turf, so as you hit it, you kind of compress in, but down the center of the pathway is real shallow turf, so you can gain your speed and so on.
Nice. So you actually have technology in the turf, in the design of the hill already, and obviously you guys design your courses for the correct speeds, for safety overall.
Right.
Because gravity's doing most of the work. I guess 90% of it, gravity's using it. You are basically either slowing yourself down or going as fast as you want
we're harnessing it. We're harnessing it like a gas pedal.
Yep, absolutely.
Exactly as you were saying. And we go down, and ultimately I'd like to mimic natural terrain if I could. If you have a ski slope, I'd like to mimic the natural terrain so you feel like you're on a natural flow, but we can change it, that terrain, as we need to, because if it is too steep, we're not going to do these on double diamonds. I can see double diamond drop in, then coming to a lower level trail. But once you're up to speed, you don't need steepness, because you get up to speed real quick and so on. So like the industry, the boards, features to the board, the rails, the concavities, the bindings, and so on. There's a lot of industry technology that's already there in other industries, but how do we fit it into this one? And that's where we're going forward. and board manufacturers are chomping at the bit to start doing this because it's another venue for them to get their products out there. And anybody who's on a wakeboard will want to ride on the slide because you stand on a wakeboard, you can stand on the slide because you're using a basic wakeboard.
Mm-hmm.
And it's I had people in the video who were rookies. In the video, there's 3 people who never rode before.
Girls.
Some of it, the girls who had never dropped in, you see her dropping in. People who've taken a couple of rides and they're all set. So it's a real easy transition to learn,
Man,
which snowboarding is not.
Yeah, that's the truth. Once you get it, you're fine, but it's definitely not easy. Well, hey,
Right.
I think that's great. That gives people a better vision of what surf slides are, where you guys are going with these things, and I'm super excited I had the chance to talk to you about them and learn more about them as I've never seen this sport before, and I appreciate you guys come on, and I really look forward to seeing surf slides hopefully in the Midwest or somewhere close where I can get out there and try one out. Absolutely. So
Right, John. If you know any ski resort owners, it's a great way for them to thrive all year.
I think
know,
it's perfect. Nice, warm. Everybody needs a little water and surfing in the warm weather. Absolutely. So, Marty and Jerry, thank you very much for talking here, and I wish you guys the best of luck.
Thank you, John.
Greatly appreciate it.
Thank you.
Cheers, man.
Cheers.